Silo Season 2, Episode 10, Into the Fire, ends with Rebecca Ferguson's Juliet Nichols arriving back home after leaving Silo 17 behind, but it remains to be seen what will become of Jimmy Solo Conroy, Steve Zahn, and his new companions. Although Silo Season 2's ending seems to imply Juliet has seen the inside of Silo 17 for the first time, the story could easily return to the same setting as part of Silo Season 3's story. However, fans will have to wait for Silo to return before they can find out for sure. Presumably, this will be in 2026. As one of the best sci-fi shows on Apple TV+, the live-action adaptation of Hugh Howey's book trilogy is safe in the knowledge that it officially has 2 more seasons confirmed to wrap up the story on its own terms. So, although Into the Fire certainly makes it seem as though pretty much all is lost, there is still a long way to go. As such, there is plenty of time for Juliet to either explore more of the world of Silo and/or revisit previous key locations. Juliet couldn't guarantee her return to Silo 17. Rebecca Ferguson's character didn't want to make a promise she may have had to break. Hope, Sarah Hazemi, and Jimmy are both desperate for Juliet to confirm she'll come back to Silo 17 after she has tried her best to save Silo 18 from the throes of a civil war. Unfortunately, she has no idea what kind of scenario she's going to find when she gets home. So, she is unable to tell her new friends one way or another whether she'll be able to make it back to see them again. She isn't being cruel or intentionally deceptive, it's just that she doesn't want to promise that she may have no control over upholding. The audience is operating with far more context than Juliet when it comes to knowing how likely it is that she'll be able to return to Silo 17. Although she suspects Silo 18 is close to boiling point, she has no way of confirming the state of her society without physically returning to check. Inversely, viewers have witnessed the rebellion gaining new footholds every step of the way. So, Hope and Jimmy may be crestfallen by Juliet's inability to promise she'll return, but those watching the show are the only ones who truly understand just how right Ferguson's character is. Silo 17 is better off now, thanks to Juliet. Silo 18's former sheriff fixed more than just Silo 17's water pump. Solo and Juliet involved during Silo Season 2 Episode 9. Whether she ever makes it back or not, Juliet's visit to Silo 17 has left a lasting and positive impact. For starters, she managed to draw Jimmy out of the vault, which had presumably never happened since Silo 17's rebellion. Although Jimmy essentially blackmailed her into fixing the pump, she did at least manage to succeed in stopping the ever-rising water from eventually consuming the entire silo. If this were her only legacy, it still would have been impressive. However, Juliet went on to have an even more poignant impact on Silo 17's future. She was successful in bringing together Jimmy with the other survivors, quashing what was presumably decades of a softly fought but consistent battle between the vault's inhabitant and the starving individuals who remained outside its doors. Plus, she also guided Hope into choosing a more humanizing name than simply the Eater. Without Juliet's intervention, Hope and her friends would probably have died and Jimmy would have remained alone forever. Why it's probably not the last of Silo 17 seen in the show. Silo 18's rebellion storyline may need Juliet to return to the other structure. Steve Zahn as Solo in Silo Season 2. Silo Season 2 spends a great deal of time in Silo 17, and more specifically, with Jimmy. Zahn's character arc and the discovery of his past is one of the best aspects of the show's second run, and he ends the finale in a much more psychologically healthy place than he was at the end of Silo Season 2's first episode. After helping bring together the beginnings of a new society, it seems unlikely that Juliet's story going forward will keep her away from her unexpected allies for the rest of the show's run. At this point, it seems unclear how Jimmy and the others could return. They only have one suit, and it's riddled with holes. So, none of them can make the journey over to Silo 18. However, with the resources available in Silo 17, the possibility remains that Juliet could make new suits and take them over to Silo 17 so they can follow her back. That being said, Silo 17 is currently a far safer setting than its immediate neighbor, so its handful of residents are better staying where they are for now when Silo returns.